Lynn Gates, whose term will end in April. I want to thank Lynn for her dedication to this board, and also thank Margie for her willingness to serve now. Item number 5 is an appointment. I hereby appoint Gerald Owenby, Greg Owenby, Kathy Jarrett, Steve Foster, and Howard McCombs to the Building Authority Board. Gerald and Greg will serve a 3-year term, and Kathy, Steve, and Howard will serve 1-year terms. In 2005 legislation, we introduced establishing the Building Authority in Union County, but until this point have not had a need for it. The purpose for the Building Authority is to provide a method of assisting the county with financing of certain approved projects. Some volunteer firemen came to me several months ago with a proposal to buy new fire trucks, because our trucks are getting old and frequently breaking down in the outlying stations. By using the Building Authority to purchase these trucks, the interest rate will be much more favorable than that utilized on a lease purchase agreement. Volunteer firemen have agreed to pay the interest for 2 to 3 years until we vote on the SPLOST, which is our sales tax again. The total loan amount will be $880,000, paid for the 5 new fire engines and the extra equipment and the financing cost. The interest payment will be shared by the 5 fire stations until such time as the county has the funds available to pay the trucks off with the sales tax funds, thereby eliminating any impact on our county budget. Thanks to Kathy, Howard, Steve, Greg, and Gerald for agreeing to serve on this board. Item number 6 is I hereby conditionally accept Barnes Creek Road into the county road system as a county road based on final inspection of road work and culvert installation. This is a road that was located on the county property that was sold several years ago. The county has had an obligation for several years to accept this road. However, I requested that the owners bring the road up to a better condition. The county will complete work on the road if required, with a clear understanding that the homeowners group is responsible for all costs. Number 7, we have 2 ordinances that have a first reading tonight. We'll have a first reading followed by a public hearing and then a second reading and final adoption. This first reading is of Union County Emergency Services Reimbursement Ordinance. In 2006, we adopted a resolution establishing and implementing a program with emergency reimbursement services for Union County to charge a user fee for the delivery of emergency fire department services for vehicular accidents and other emergency services when it involves an out-of-county vehicle, if it is a traffic accident with injuries, or expenses for the fire based on the type of insurance the homeowner has. The county will only be billing the insurance companies. To date, we have already collected over $15,000 in the last 6 months using this process. We recently met with David Clark, head of Emergency Reimbursement Services, who told us we would be able to recover more money if we adopted an ordinance, because some of the insurance companies won't pay unless we actually have an ordinance adopted instead of a resolution. So that's the purpose of this ordinance, and we'll have a public hearing on it at 5:30 p.m. on Thursday, March the 29th. It's basically just a way that we can go to the insurance company and request that they reimburse costs to the county on an accident scene. Something we didn't really know about until this gentleman came to us a few months ago and told us about it, and already got $15,000. Item number 8, that's the second ordinance, the first reading of Community Wastewater System Management Agreement Ordinance. This agreement is between Union County and Union Utilities of Newnan, Georgia. The purpose of this ordinance is to basically give Newnan Utilities a franchise agreement for any public sewage system constructed in Union County. This, of course, does not include the city of Blairsville. There are several companies providing and installing packaged sewer plants. Without this agreement, the county would be at the mercy of the private developer to build and install and maintain those systems. Newnan is the only government entity building and running these systems. They have the experience and the ability to not only build the system, but to manage and operate it for years to come. This will remove a great deal of possible future liability from the county. We're pleased to have this opportunity to work with Newnan Utilities. Procedure for this agreement will be the same as for county ordinances, since this affects land use. This is the first reading. We'll have a public hearing on March the 29th. at 5:45 and the second reading and adoption at the April county meeting. Number 9, proposal for geotechnical exploration at the Butternut Creek Golf Course. It's a contract between Union County and ECS Southeast LLC in the amount of $3,975. And this is for the purpose of soil testing and compaction testing. The county is currently adding an alternate access to Butternut Creek Golf Course and improving the parking lot. The purpose is to allow access and exit along the road going from 515 going to the road that goes to the Holiday Inn to enhance visibility and access to the golf course. The parking lot is also being changed to accommodate a safer parking area. Currently, parts of the existing parking lot, which was built in 1972, has a dangerous slope in some areas of as much as 20% grade. In other words, in most of that parking lot, if you open the door and you're too close to the next car, it's going to slam it. They slam you with it. But people have been doing that for a long time. But as we're finding our population is aging, and our golfers are therefore aging, that it's a little bit more difficult. So once we get this completed, we'll actually be able to drive the golf cart out to the park and the system further too. Now this will make the course more attractive to outside play and increase revenue for the future. And that's the bottom line. We're trying to have a great facility and also increase revenue. This will also allow increased parking. Some of you may or may not know that the tennis court up there that we've had also since the 70s has been disbanded, and we have a new tennis court complex out next to the swimming pool. It will officially open in about 2 weeks. I think it's actually ready and completed right now, but the existing tennis court will end up being a parking lot at the golf course. This will allow for increased parking should we be able to afford and find the funding to build a multi-purpose building on the site, which would include a home for the golf course clubhouse, Chamber of Commerce, Development Authority, and a community room. So that's something we hope to do possibly with our next SPLOST project. However, none of this can be done until the time that we have identified funds. Item number 10 is a recognition, and I'm going to ask Ruth, if you and Hoyt. I don't know, Ruth retired from the senior center it's been a few months back, and we have not had the opportunity to properly recognize her for what she's done for the county and for the senior citizens. She has been there 29 years, dedicated her whole life really to working with senior citizens, and has just done a marvelous job. I think a lot of them miss her, and I know she misses them. But I wanted to recognize her for that because she is dedicated. She's been Thank you for putting up with it long time.
Can I say one thing?
Sure can, you know it.
No, you have never.
We moved here in June of '73. Thanks to the North Georgia News, the first day of school, which school usually starts in this county on a Thursday now, I picked up the paper and there was an ad in there for volunteer drivers for the Department of Family and Children's Service. So I called, and so immediately, and a lot of y'all will remember Miss Crayfield Wimpy. Between Miss Crayfield Wimpy and myself and all, I was only supposed to drive maybe once or twice a week and all, and now this was strictly volunteer. They didn't pay mileage, anything like that, no. It was strictly volunteer. And I went to a paid position and all, and then I went with the senior center and all, and that's where I've been ever since. And I can truthfully say that Lamar is the best commissioner that I ever worked under. I went through a lot of commissioners, but no, seriously, he has supported me better than any of the other commissioners. And I'm not just saying that because he's standing here. I'm serious about this thing and all. He has always been a good supporter of the senior center, and I appreciate that.
We're down to item 11, the commissioners' comments, and I'm about commented out. This time I'm going to adjourn the meeting, and as we always do, I'll accept questions if anybody wants to ask any questions or make any comments, or get up and dance, or whatever anybody feels like doing.
I can sing.
No singing. If not, we're dismissed.